Hi there, Artifarty Annie here. Welcome to my craft room. Today I'd like to show you how to make these really sweet little Japanese style paper dolls. They make perfect bookmarks, so I've been making up a few to give to some friends as keepsakes, but I think I might go ahead and make up a whole load more because they'd be a lovely little fun, inexpensive, colourful item to put on a craft stall at Christmas. They're also a great way of using up some of that lovely pretty paper that we all love to hoard away. So the first thing you need is small pieces of pattern paper. Now I went through my stash and pulled out some of these 6 and 8 inch pattern paper pads that I've had stashed away for I don't know how long, and they really need using up. And the little 6 inch and 8 inch papers are great because they tend to have a smaller scale of pattern, so it's ideal for a small project like that. And also these thin kind of papers are perfect because they fold easily. Some of the thicker papers might be a bit difficult for making the folds. If you've got anything like washi paper or origami paper or anything like that, would be perfect, really pretty. I also came across this pack of plain bright colours while I was going through my stash. I'd forgotten I'd got this. I got it in a sale or something ages ago. I thought some of these lovely bright colours would make a great contrast with the pattern, so I pulled that out as well. Now all you need to do is to take, if I take one and show you, take one of your 6 inch pieces of paper, cut it in half roughly. You really don't need to be at all precise, and then I'm just going to take about an inch, 2.5 centimetres off of one end, off of the short end. Again, roughly it's fine, you don't need to measure anything. Now I've cut a whole load at once because I want to make up some little kits for my friends, and I might just make up a huge batch, as I say, for a stall at Christmas. So I've gone ahead and cut a whole pile of these, and as you can see, so you end up with 2 piles, one of the bigger piece and one of the smaller piece. And you can see that I've not been at all careful. You really don't need to be that, they're not all the same by any means, you don't need to be that precise. You'll also need some of these strips to make the bodies. They don't, this bit doesn't really show very much, it's more support than anything else. It needs to be something a bit weightier than paper, but it doesn't need to be a very heavyweight card. This is quite a thin, lightweight card. And these strips are about 6 inches or 15 centimetres by just less than half an inch or about 1 centimetre wide. Again, nothing precise. If anything, I'd go a little bit narrower rather than wider. And I found the paper I used for it, or the thin card that I used for it, I just had some of this in a pack I bought ages ago. It's matte on one side and has a lovely pearlescent sort of sheen on the other, and it's this really pretty sort of ivory shade, so I thought, well, that's perfect. And as you can see, you're also going to need some circles to make the faces. So I cut out a few circles to get me going. I've used this 1 inch circle punch, but if you had a 3/4 inch punch, that would be fine as well. And then you also need some black thin card or heavy paper to make the hair. And you need for each doll you need 2 of the 1 inch or 3/4 inch circles, and 1 or 2 of these smaller circles which I've made with this, what's that, about a 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre circle. It really doesn't, again, just whatever you have. So I've cut out a whole load of those to get going. The only other thing you need is some decoration. I thought some flowers in their hair would look pretty, and I've found various bits and bobs in my stash to use up. Some clear stickers, got to have some twinkles. These are 3D 3D stickers, which they've just got sticky in the middle so the petals can go free. Really pretty little flowers, and I bought loads of them ages ago because they were in a sale and I've never used them, so this is the perfect opportunity. And then this is self-sticky kind of ribbon trim, so I thought, oh, I can just trim off a flower to go in one of the doll's hair. And then I've got some ribbons as well. This isn't essential, but you can see, like in this one, it looks quite pretty to tie a little extra piece of ribbon around the sash. So I've got these bits of ribbon. A lot of these are the pieces that those annoying things that they put inside blouses and dresses and things for you to hang them up by, but they're always creeping out at the wrong moment and you end up cutting them out because you're fed up with them. Well, all my friends are trained now not to throw those away when they cut them out. They give them to me, so I've got a never-ending supply of little tiny bits of ribbon, which are just enough to do this kind of small project with. And there's some other bits and bobs in there as well. There's some embroidery thread. I was lucky enough to be given a whole load. There's a bit of gold thread I'd probably taken off a gift or something. So yeah, put all them to one side. We won't need them for a while. Okay, the only other things you will need are some double-sided tape and a glue stick of some kind. I think something like tacky glue is probably the best thing. I had a whole load of these, so I'm using them up, and this is working really well. I'm very happy with this glue actually. A pair of scissors, bone folder, and I found this flat stick, which is like a coffee stirrer. Quite a handy thing for poking ribbon through holes and things, so that's handy to have. Oh, and this little bulldog clip is quite useful as well for holding things together while they're sticking. And then I've got this black ink pad. Any black ink pad would do, or actually a black pen, a black felt pen or something like that would do as well. Okay, let's get cracking. Well, my camera shut off there without me realising, so I've come back again to show you how to actually make the doll. You'll need one large piece for the kimono and 3 smaller pieces, one for the collar, one for the sash and one for a kind of over sash. You'll need 2 of the smaller black circles cut with the smaller punch, and 2 of the larger circles, again in black card, cut with the larger punch, and one of the larger circles in the ivory colour, and one of the ivory strips. I'm not giving any measurements here because it's really not crucial. And then there's some decorations I've picked out there to finish off my little doll. Scissors, glue and bone folder. So now I'm taking the ivory strip that's going to be my doll's body. So I said that's hardly going to show at all, so the measurement really isn't crucial. And I've taken one of the smaller pieces as the collar, and I'm just folding it in half lengthwise and using my bone folder to make that a really nice sharp crease. And now I'm going to place the body strip just slightly to the left of centre of that collar piece. The folded edge is upwards there. Obviously it's going to be neater. That's a little bit too much towards the left. I'm putting it in a bit. There we are, that's about right. And that's because you want to fold the left side over first and then the right. And it's really important to get that right, because that way you'll end up with the finished doll will have a kimono folded left over right. To fold it the other way would mean that she was deceased, and obviously you don't want to be doing that, so it is important to get that the right way round. I'm just trimming off the excess there to make it all neat and tidy, and using little dots of wet glue to stick them together. You can use double-sided tape if you find it easier. I have done some of them with double-sided tape, but in the end I found the wet glue just was easier really, but whatever suits you. So I'm turning my large piece face down and I'm folding up about 1/2 inch on the bottom there, maybe 1.5 centimetres. Again, the measurement isn't crucial. I'm turning the whole piece over and folding that edge up again. This time only about 1/4 of an inch, or say 1/2 centimetre. So you end up with this sort of double fold over edge. That makes a nice neat collar effect. So I'm putting it face down again, and I'm going to place the body of my doll so the inside collar just shows slightly above. Little double glue to hold it in place, and again you'll see I'm putting it just slightly to left of centre, and I'm going to bring over the piece that's on my left as I look at the doll first. Don't press that whole edge down, don't crease the whole thing, just crease it a little way down as I'm showing you there. And then you're going to do the trickiest part of this whole project is this little origami fold. You just kind of pleat it upwards as I'm showing you there. It's quite hard to describe, but hopefully that little bit of film makes it clear what you've got to do. There we are. And when you're happy with the fold, give it a good press down with the bone folder to make it really nice and sharp. So I'm just showing you there how it might take a couple of practices to get that fold just right. And once you've done it, it's really easy. I'm trimming off the excess again, keep it nice and neat. Seem to be having a bit of trouble with the scissors there. Ooh. So now I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. Again, just not folding it all the way down, just a little tiny bit. Just gently coaxing the paper upwards. Sometimes you just have to fiddle with it a little bit to just make it come up neatly, make that nice pleat. There we are. I'm happy with that fold. I'm going to take my bone folder and make it a nice sharp crease there. And again, just showing you what I've done there. So I'm just going to open it all up and put a little dab of glue to hold it all together. A little dab of glue. So you can see it from the doll's point of view. Her left side of her gown is folded over the right, which means she isn't deceased. I don't want to be giving my friends bookmarks of deceased people. There we are. So I've put the little bulldog clip there to just hold everything together while it dries, and I'm going to move on to the next part, which is my sash. I'm just trimming that piece down. I'm saving the piece I've trimmed off. So there we are. I've got kind of 2 layers of the sash there, which I think it's called the obi. I'm avoiding saying all the words because I'm afraid of saying them wrong and looking silly or causing offence. So it's a sash. I think it's called an obi. I'm just taking that bulldog clip off. I'm carefully wrapping my obi around the body of the doll. A little dab of glue. This glue does work really well. I bought a whole load for a group project, and I've been really handy. There we are. That's that bit done. Now I'm just trimming a bit off that little trimming nut that I cut from the sash piece. And I want this to be a sort of wraparound piece, you'll see in a minute. So I've just folded a little tab over the top, and I've put double glue on that and tucked it in behind the main sash. I'm just adjusting it so it's nice and central. Now I'm just folding the bottom back to mark where it's going to tuck underneath. A little dab of glue and tuck it in underneath. Not making it too tight because I want to put a ribbon through here now. And this is where you might find that coffee stirrer stick or a poker tool or something handy to push it through, but this one went through easily. I'm just going to tie a little knot. I'm not going to do a bow because I'm not very good at bows and they just come out too big for a little tiny thing like this. Well, mine do anyway. So I'm just going to tie a little knot. And this is just based on some of the pictures I found online when I googled obi knots. If you do the same thing and click on Google Images, you'll get all kinds of really fancy knots. And some of the dolls I've done, I've tried some sort of big pleats at the back and things. You can do all kinds of fancy things with them. I'm keeping this one nice and simple just to show you the basics. Little dab of glue here, and I'm going to add the head onto my doll's neck. And now moving on to the hair, I'm just going to snip a little piece off the bottom of this circle and then snip in some little sort of wedge shapes to create a fringe effect for the doll. You'll find that you can create a really different look by cutting the fringe longer or shorter and putting the hair at a different angle, which you'll see in a minute. So now I'm taking the second circle that's going to be the back of the hair, and I'm just snicking a tiny piece out of one edge with my hole punch, my circle punch, like that, and that will become the hairline at the nape of the neck. You'll see in a minute. So going back to the front of the hair now. Obviously I've lost something here. What's going on? Oh yes, it's I nearly forgot this bit. I'm just using a black pen there to just colour the edge of the white card, so that you won't get a naked raw white edge between the layers of black paper that I'm going to be using for the hair. And I'm coming back to my fringe, a little bit of glue. You'll see here I'm just kind of showing you the different kind of look you can get. You can make your Japanese lady look to left or right or up or down, depending on how you place that hair. So I've got her looking a little bit cheekily to one side, a little bit cheeky but still demure. And now I'm going to place my little top knots. And I'm just showing you here how you can get quite a different look depending on how you position them, and you have to be really careful not to have them end up looking like Minnie Mouse ears, as I've found to my cost. Little tiny dab of glue, just hold them in place. You see this glue that I'm using is so really easy, nice and clean and reliable. And slightly forgiving. I've just pulled that piece off and repositioned it. That's fine. There we are. So now I need to add the back of the hair. Deciding that's not quite enough. And you'll see now how that little just curved nick out of the edge gives it a nice hairline at the nape of the neck. Just getting that position just right. There we are. Happy with that. I'm just showing you there how that white edge doesn't show because we've coloured it with ink. And in all that moving around, what I hadn't realised was I'd slightly dislodged the front piece, so it was all skew, so I've peeled that off and stuck it on again. There you go, all done. Yeah, that's hair done. As I say, it's traditional not to
have features on the faces with these, which is quite nice. Because what I forgot here was to put the decorations on, so she'd look quite nice with a flower in her hair. I might come back and finish her off in a bit. And there she's joined all her little friends. My son calls this the cheerleader effect, where something looks kind of okay by itself but even better in a big group. And I think that's the case with these. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that little video. Have a go yourself. It's a great way to use up scraps of paper. It really is, and it really gets quite addictive. Thanks very much for watching today. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.